these streets. But before we get to all that, how do you feel about just 2022 in general, at totality, and how everything's going in our world in America right now?
About 4 years ago, I said we needed to do something to heighten the contradictions so people can see what's really going on. Well, that's happening. And one of the things that I think is the biggest threat going right now is what we're doing to suppress free speech. What they're trying to do to Kanye is an example of that. I mean, what he said, hey, that's supposed to hurt somebody's feelings? Well, too damn bad. I mean, but the example is he's looking at something and he sees it on screen, right? So people get it. Let's say it's the Super Bowl and they've got a controversial play. Did the guy catch the pass inbounds, making it a first down, or does the ball go over to the other team? So they're showing the replay and people are sitting around, a bunch of them looking at different televisions in the same house and go, man, dude was inside, man. He was inbounds, man. No, he wasn't, man. Dude's foot was out, man. You saw that.
Right.
And see, you're supposed to make something like that liable for damages. What the hell are we coming to? And see, the other thing that I do not like about this George Floyd bit is there's other stuff that was not put out there much, but it showed. There was video, for example, before all this broke down and him getting put on the ground. There's this young black guy out there saying, hey, man, mister, I don't know you. They're going to take this money out of my check, man. I can't afford this. See, Floyd passed the $20 bill to get fentanyl. And he passed this counterfeit bill on his young brother at the store, the cupcake shop. So the young brother's going to have to pay that $20 out of his paycheck. So he said, man, I can't afford that, man. Would you get the money back, man? And he basically gets told to get lost. So, I mean, that ain't right either.
Right.
And fentanyl is a bitch, man. I had cancer last year. They tell me I beat it, but they gave me fentanyl, and it says big as daylight on the container. It's in red. It says, warning, this reduces your respiratory function sometimes dangerously. Wow. And what was going on in this thing, and I'll just tell you, forget commenting on what was going on there. I had this done to me, demonstrated by my late brother, the Grand Master of Martial Arts, the late, great Dr. Clifford Stewart. My brother died last year. And he showed me how to do it. And what happens is when you press on somebody's carotid artery complex on one side, you reduce their flow of blood to the brain, but you don't knock them out. What you do is you make them feel like they're 12, 14,000 feet. So they can keep breathing for a long time. But you let go of it after a while and they got a bad headache, but they aren't moving. Now, you get the guy down on the ground, let's say if it goes like it's supposed to, and you suppress this blood flow to the brain, all of this is going to happen. Let's say you put him under fentanyl, and he's going to have a real problem, but he's not going to die. But if somebody puts a knee in his back, like let's say, for example, a heavyset white cop that comes in second, what happens is this guy that you're doing this to has got to labor to breathe. And when you put the knee in the back, what winds up happening is mechanically he starts heaving reflexively, and some other people get involved in it, and that kills him. And let's say the DA is too ignorant of what physiology is to go prosecute the second cop for murder, but only manslaughter. You know, I mean, it could happen that way. So somebody wants to call what they call, how much of this is driven just by somebody saying, okay, $250 million, let's go after it. And then you got an extended family, and they got $28 million on a settlement against Minneapolis, which has, as last I heard, I may be wrong, but they had a $250 million liability insurance policy. So, and some family members may not have wanted to settle for $28 million, with a big chunk of it going to counsel who settles it.
Yeah.
And you've got all kinds of other things going on here, and people don't even get to understand them now, because who wants to print this and risk somebody suing them for $250 million because they got hurt feelings?